Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Let's get started. Tonight, with inflation hitting Americans at home and with the war raging in Ukraine, President Joe Biden laid out his plans to confront both in his State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress and guests, including Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill tonight.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Biden entered the House chamber for his first State of the Union address with the focus on the war in Europe. Lawmakers wore blue and yellow ribbons to show their support for Ukraine.
Stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine.
The president announced he's closing U.S. airspace to Russian aircraft following the move of European allies.
Further isolating Russia and adding additional squeeze on their economy.
The president also stressed the importance of the NATO alliance and standing up to Russia's unprovoked aggression and Vladimir Putin.
He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready.
On the home front, the president took credit for job growth, touted his bipartisan physical infrastructure bill, and laid out his plan to tackle inflation.
Instead of relying on foreign supply chains, let's make it in America.
The president also announced what he's calling a unity agenda, action items for Congress that have bipartisan support, including improving mental health care.
Let's take on mental health, especially among our children whose lives and education have been turned upside down.
President Biden made his case to the nation with an approval rating that's dropped to 44%. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
After the State of the Union tonight, several local lawmakers sharing their reaction. Idaho Governor Brad Little issued a joint statement along with 23 other Republican governors that read in part, quote, Joe Biden ran on promises of uniting the country and restoring America's respect throughout the world. They continued. This administration has put America on a path toward decline. Meantime, back here in Washington, Senator Patty Murray also released a statement tonight focusing on the ongoing crisis in Ukraine. She wrote in part, quote, it is good to see President Biden taking strong steps to hold Russia accountable and that she will look at ways to support the Ukrainian people. For more on local lawmakers and their reaction to the State of the Union, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. And speaking of Ukraine, in the past few hours, the Ukrainian interior minister said that at least 10 people have died and dozens were hurt after a Russian missile slammed into a building in Kharkiv. Russian rockets also destroyed an apartment building where several other people died. Ukrainian President Zelensky called the attacks, quote, war crimes, explaining the buildings were not legitimate targets. Coming up in just about 10 minutes, we'll share more on the latest in Ukraine. All right, let's talk weather tonight. We nearly hit 60 degrees in Spokane today, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering if that warm weather will return tomorrow. Let's get straight to meteorologist Michelle Moss for the answer on that one. Michelle?
It is still going to be milder than average tomorrow, but not quite as warm as what we saw today. We got a little bit of a break from the rain today. More rain is on the way tonight and tomorrow, so keep those umbrellas handy. Here's a look at satellite and radar. We're just seeing the showers start to pick up again, so it is going to be kind of a wet night, and you'll probably be dealing with some rain showers tomorrow morning as well. Temperature-wise, we'll get to that in a minute. We still do have a flood watch in North Idaho where an additional inch of rain is possible before the end of the week. All right, here's a look at temperatures. 47 in Spokane, 48 in Moses Lake, still in the 50s in Lewiston, but in the upper 30s in Deer Park and Sandpoint. Slightly cooler temperatures tomorrow, but we still may hit 50, and then 47 tomorrow with more rain on Thursday. We finally start to dry out on Friday with temperatures getting closer to average in the middle and upper 40s.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. New tonight, a man has been hit and killed on East Sprague between Myrtle and Havana. According to SPD, EMT crews worked to revive the man, but he did not survive. They identified the driver as 47-year-old Jaguar Pierre and said he was determined to be under the influence at the time, so they arrested him for vehicular homicide. The identity of the victim has not yet been released. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. We are learning more about the breaking news we first brought to you last night, that deadly shooting in Hauser that left one man dead and another hurt. According to Kootenai County Sheriff's deputies, Lieutenant Ryan Higgins, that deputy, 44-year-old Adam Bennett allegedly shot and killed 77-year-old Dennis Rogers. Higgins also said another man, 55-year-old John Hazel Jr., suffered non-life-threatening injuries in that shooting. According to Higgins, Bennett was eventually taken into custody without incident at an asphalt plant near Prairie Avenue and Pleasant View Road, about a mile from the scene. Bennett did have an appearance in court today, but that was for warrants out of Washington County. The judge said Bennett may face charges in Kootenai County coming up tomorrow. And today a jury found the man accused of shooting his ex-wife in Browns Addition a year and a half ago guilty of murder. The jury returned that verdict after just 3 hours of deliberations. Beal's sentencing there for the murder conviction will be held on March 25th. The Spokane County prosecutor also confirmed they are filing a separate murder charge against Nathan Beal. That charge relates to the homeless man that Beal allegedly killed 4 months before murdering his ex-wife. Investigators believe he shot that man for practice. A nuclear site in central Washington was put on lockdown today after reports of an active shooter. Employees at Hanford received a message that read, "Run, hide, fight," as the facility was placed on lockdown due to reports of shots fired in one of the buildings there. No one was hurt. However, deputies were able to clear the building. They did not find any evidence of a shooting, they said.
To have this kind of event going on, I think every city that's a major city should have this. It's awesome to have this program for everybody to be able to come here and get help that they actually need, because too many people are really afraid to.
A resource for those in our community experiencing homelessness is making a comeback after COVID canceled it last year, the Spokane Homeless Connect event. Well, today the Spokane Convention Center welcomed people experiencing homelessness and offered free resources like hot food and clothing. Attendees also had access to a COVID vaccine, pet services, legal help, housing assistance, and free food and clothing. Resource booths also focused on health, education, and taking next steps to help navigate out of homelessness. The Spokane Homeless Connect chair says over the past 10 years, she has seen the number of attendees grow from hundreds to thousands. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000. We'll send them directly to your phone. New information tonight on the two 14-year-olds who were arrested for attempted murder of 2 people in Lewiston. According to court documents, the pair planned to shoot and kill one of the boy's stepfather and stepsister after the stepfather told him he couldn't go to the park. Court documents show the boy told detectives he regretted not killing his stepsister. Both of the teen suspects have been charged as adults. The victims survived, but police say they suffered serious and life-threatening injuries. The court documents in this case are pretty compelling, so if you'd like to read more about them, just text us the word crime to 509-448-2000. Also in the Northwest, record-breaking rainfall across western Washington this week has led rivers to flood over their banks and flood roads and fields as well. Seattle saw 3.73 inches of rainfall in just 48 hours. Snoqualmie Falls also surged today after the rain. Turning to some national news now. Today, people visited New Orleans to celebrate Fat Tuesday. There were parades across the city and marches through the French Quarter there. Last year, parades were canceled after officials realized that crowds back in 2020 created a super spreader event. This year, masks were required at indoor public places. An advanced weather satellite launched into space from Cape Canaveral, Florida today. This was a joint effort between NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The satellite will help meteorologists observe and predict local weather events. The Best of Broadway schedule is out for the 2022 and 23 season. Theater fans, listen up because ticket sales and renewals begin this morning at 10 o'clock. So Hadestown kicks the season off this week, or the week rather, of July 5th. Hairspray will be here from September 20th to 25th. Ain't Too Proud, which is a musical about the life and times of the Temptations, will be here in January of next year. Another Tony Award-winning musical called Dear Evan Hansen will be coming through March 14th through the 19th of 2023. And last but not least, Aladdin closes out the season at the end of June. New season ticket orders begin coming up this Friday. And that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. But don't go to bed just yet. We will verify if the United Nations can charge Russian officials with war crimes after Russia attacked a school and an orphanage. Plus, it is Tom Sherry's final week here at KREM 2. A little later in the broadcast, we'll share some of the major weather events that Tom has covered in his 32 years here at KREM. We are back in just 90 seconds.